thoruen. Thoruen. Thoruen says, I was listening to you on Craig Ferguson's Joy podcast. I love Craig so much. What an incredible being. I was wondering how you make your scientific brain think that, quote, our consciousness is eternal and that we have free will and eternity is exhausting, so we come down to this mortal plane to enjoy some beginnings and endings. The way you phrase this has so much judgment in it, which I'm fine with. How do you make your scientific brain think that, is what you're asking. And just to be clear, this is something I believe. I do believe. Yeah. I'm moderately convinced that that our consciousness is eternal and that it's entirely possible that we are here on this plane to experience the joy of beginnings and endings. Now, when you say, how do you get your scientific brain to think that? I can feel like an anger in you. I can feel like you might even feel betrayed by me being a progenitor of scientific thinking. But let me just point out a couple of things. The most impossible thing to understand is our sentience. That we are a composition of cells, most of them non-human in origin. We're a colony of organisms, and this colony, which moves away from entropy, also seems to know that it exists. How does that and this not? So to me, that's like, how does matter know itself? That seems impossible. So when I think of how impossible that is, and yet here we are, I don't have much of an issue expanding out my thought of like, what if we've got it backwards? Oh, okay. So, for example, my favorite science communicator writer is Carlo Rovelli, Rovelli. Go buy any books by him about physics, and they are both deeply informative and also poetically beautiful. Time is more like a kiss than a rock. A clock is nothing but a flow meter for entropy. That's Carlo Rovelli. And in one of his books, he decides to try and boil down physics mysteries to a single sentence so that you understand them. And the first thing he tackled was the theory of relativity. He was literally said, in the first chapter, I'm going to explain the theory of relativity in one sentence. And as a science communicator, I was like, how are you going to do that? And he was like, Einstein posited that time and space might be the same thing. And so much of what we understand about the world and what we can predict about the universe around us stems from that thought experiment. And so, when I think about the fact that this pile of atoms and cells can know itself, I mean, look, it's quantum physics, right? Every teacher of quantum physics tells you that when we're done going through this, you're going to feel far less knowledgeable than when we started. In fact, there's a great video that I caught a few weeks ago of a teacher saying to an assembled class, we're going to study quantum physics this semester. And right now, I am the only person who doesn't understand quantum physics in this room because you all don't even get to the level of not understanding. But at the end of the semester, all of us will not understand quantum physics. String theory, untestable. All of this is part of the noise to me that, like, you know, we take this as for granted that this group of cells got together and then somehow can think about itself. But maybe we're thinking about it backwards. Maybe the consciousness is the first mover. That's just it. So this is a theory that I like, that works for me. The idea that the hardest part about being a human being is also the point. The hardest part about being a human being is loss. losing the people that we love, losing the things that we love, losing our youth, losing our health. None of that can be avoided. We're all going to the same place. And maybe that's the grace. So my scientific brain doesn't have any trouble holding these things in that orientation. Einstein said, my belief in God is all the things that I don't know about the universe, which is almost everything. And I'm mangling his quote entirely. But I think that's a great way to think about it. The great unknown. So I'm working with that theory and I'm sticking with it. Let's see what's been going on. Nicholasozorak is expecting their first child soon. Congratulations, Mazel Tov. How did you find that having your children contributed to your creativity directly and indirectly? Well, I mean, my creativity. Okay, so let's remove the word creativity from there because I've stopped understanding what it means. But I think I want to talk about an emotional point of view because having kids absolutely deepened my emotional point of view on the world. And you're expecting your kids soon. It's going to be a while before your brain has the energy, I think, to explore creative avenues. That is the triage of your first year plus with a baby is real and exhausting, cripplingly exhausting. Now my kids are 26. My boys are 26, and every time I get to see them, it's like the best day of my week. It's lovely. Yeah, right? So, I mean, everything. Look, this is a firm belief I hold. When you make something and it's good and it satisfies you and you both know that you are satisfied and also objectively this thing is good, that's a real feeling and it happens. When you feel that feeling that you are finding your point of view about being a person and you are executing it into this object, and that object is the result of everything you've experienced up till now, good and bad. Good and bad. John Kabat-Zinn, the man who brought mindfulness-based stress reduction to the West with his MBSR clinic in Boston, he says, do you want to know how your life's going to turn out? Everyone wants to know how their life's going to turn out. How is my life going to turn out? He goes, how is it now? It already happened. How is your life now? And I love that. I love that, bringing it back. So yeah, kids, having kids and trying to do right by them. And when I say trying to do right by them, I mean trying to let them become who they will be without the bias of who I think they ought to be. That's what I mean by doing right by my kids. And that's what I have always striven to do. And that, without a doubt, makes me a better artist. It makes me a better designer. A SilverDefender wants to know about all the stuff in my collection. Is there anything that Thing 1 or Thing 2 likes? Or asked if they could have or have it left to them in the future. No, but I am starting to think, right? I'm breathing down the neck of 60 years old. I'm just 18 months away. I am starting to think about what happens to all this stuff when I'm no longer here. Now, I hope that's 35 years from now. That's my goal. But it might not be. So I've actually already started talking to my kids about asking them to start to think about that. And I think that will change over the years. There's definitely a full set of tools that I will leave them, or leave them the option of having. The organizational stuff in here, I probably would be more inclined to leave the totality of the organized space in here to a makerspace, a memorial makerspace maybe. It's weird to think about your own death like that. But yeah. So just starting to think about that. Someone walked in here a few years ago and was like, look at all this crap someone's going to have to deal with when you're dead, which is an intense thing to say walking into a space, and also full marks. Like, that shifted my thinking on its axis a little bit. Thank you for watching. I wanted to talk to you about Tested membership. The Tested members are a key community that we find really, really remarkable. That's very separate from Tested and from YouTube. The Tested members, they buy each other memberships during our live streams. So if you're wondering whether to become a member, watch one of our live streams and someone may just give you one. It is hard to overestimate how much the Tested members actually make possible on this channel. They give us a lot of wiggle room. They give us a huge amount of feedback.
That's a member right now.
Thank you so much for enjoying your membership. Description for everything you need to know. And for all the members out there, thank you, thank you, thank you.